Hello, level 1! It's Bible story time. Today, we will learn about the story of King Solomon. Have you heard about it before? Okay, but before we proceed to the story, I have here some words and I want you to read it with me, okay? Let's start. King, king, again, king. Temple, temple, again, temple, again, temple. Your turn. That's great. Ark, ark. Your turn. Ark. Once more. Last one. Seven, seven. Again, seven. Very good. Thank you so much. Now it's time to do our warm-up song before our story. I have here a video and I want you to follow it, okay?
The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the rock stood firm. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand went smash.
Thank you for following the steps on the song. Now, it's time for us to watch the story. See you later!
Happy Kids TV.
The Holy Tales. King David was a ruler of Israel, and he was a great believer in God. During his rule as the king, Israel grew 10 times larger than what it was under King Saul's rule. But now, King David was old and sick. He was tired of ruling such a large kingdom. David had many sons, and one of them was Adonijah. Even though his name meant, "My Lord is God," Adonijah was not a good man. He claimed to the people of Israel that one day he would rule the kingdom. He even tried to steal his father's throne, knowing that King David was too weak to resist him. But that was not God's plan for Israel and its people. David's wife, Bathsheba, knew that her son Solomon should become the king of Israel. She informed David about Adonijah's plan, and immediately David gathered all his leaders and declared Solomon as the new king of Israel. Soon David fell very ill. Before his death, he said to his people,
"Believe in Solomon. He is the one chosen by God to be your king."
The people of Israel believed what David said. After his father's death, King Solomon sat on the throne, and firmly established the Israel kingdom once again. During his rule, King Solomon remembered the one advice that his dead father gave to him. He had said,
Always follow God's path, and you shall prosper in everything that you do.
One night, God appeared in Solomon's dream. He asked him,
If I grant you one wish, what would you ask for? You may ask for anything that you want.
O Lord, give me wisdom to be a good king. That's all I ask for.
Solomon's request pleased God, and he granted his wish along with great honor and riches. One day, two mothers came to King Solomon for justice. One of them fell to his feet and cried, This woman's son died in the night, and she switched her dead baby with me. She took away my living baby.
No, I did not switch the babies. The dead baby is yours, and the one that is alive is mine.
It was difficult for Solomon or anyone to tell which of them was speaking the truth. However, he soon had a plan. He called out for a sword.
Bring me a sword.
One of his soldiers followed his orders and immediately brought him a sword. Solomon said,
Now divide the baby into half. Give one half to each of them.
The entire court was silent. The real mother of the living baby cried out, Oh my lord, please do not kill my baby. Give her my child.
Let him be divided. He shall be neither yours nor mine.
King Solomon immediately knew who the real mother was. He ordered his soldier,
Give the baby to the first woman. I know she is the real mother.
The people of Israel were very happy with Solomon's judgment. They understood that God's wisdom was in him. The people of Israel had no temple to worship God. When David decided to build a temple for his people, God had appeared to him and said,
It is your son who will build the house in my name.
So, when Solomon became the king, he started building a wonderful temple for God. It took 7 long years to complete the temple. But the day had arrived when Solomon gathered all his people and dedicated the temple to the Lord. The people and the king offered their prayers and thousands of sacrifices to God in the temple. They even held a great feast, which lasted for 2 weeks. One day after this, God appeared to Solomon once again. He promised to bless Solomon and his people if they continued to obey God. Sadly, neither the king nor his people obeyed God all the time. While Solomon wasted his time disobeying God, one of his officers, Jeroboam, had a strange experience. One day, Jeroboam met a prophet who said,
God will soon be dividing Solomon's kingdom for disobeying him, and you will rule over 10 of the 12 tribes.
Hearing this from the prophet, Jeroboam quickly escaped to Egypt, knowing that Solomon would kill him if he stayed. Years passed, and Solomon grew old. Finally, he died. His son Rehoboam sat on the throne after his father's death, and he taxed the people even worse than what his father did. This angered the tribes, and 10 of them rebelled against him. Solomon's kingdom got divided into 2, and the 10 tribes chose Jeroboam as their king, just as the prophet had said.
For this week's memory verse, it says, God's Spirit lives in you. From 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Hi everyone! I'm back. Now, what is the story all about? Okay, it was about King Solomon. Now, I have here some questions. Are you ready? Of course, we are born ready. Okay. Who is the ruler of Israel? Okay, it was King David, who got appointed as the new king of Israel after King David died. It was, yes, it was King Solomon. What did they celebrate after the temple was built? Yes, they celebrated the Great Feast. Thank you so much for answering my question. For your craft next week, just see my next video, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.